Hi, this is David with David's Tutorials. Today, I'd like to tell you about a really cool form of exercise that I have either discovered or developed or just came across, and I don't know of anybody but me that's doing this thing. I want to tell you all about it, so stay tuned and I'll do just that. Okay, this form of exercise, I call it MFE, or marching for exercise. Let me tell you a little bit of background about this. Let me share with you how I came across this form of exercise. When I hit the 7th grade, I joined the band because it just sounded like a really fun thing to do. And so I came home and I said, "Hey, Mom, I joined the band." Well, I had been musical before this, and she looked at me and she said, "Well, what are you going to play in the band, the piano or the guitar?" And because those are the only instruments that I had played up to that time. I don't know, but we got in there and I played a keyboard percussion instrument, and then I got a cornet, and then I got a trumpet, and later on I played the French horn. But one of the things that you do when you're in a high school and a junior high, sometimes band, is you march. And marching, you can do it basically two places. You do it in a parade, and that's not my favorite place to go marching, but you also do it on a football field during the halftime of the football games. And that was really a lot of fun. And one of the things I learned, especially as I got into college and I joined the Gator Band, go Gators, I noticed that when we went out and we would practice 5, sometimes 6 days a week, at the end of the practice, we were all kind of, man, that was fun. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of exercise. We got out of breath at first. And of course, as the season went on and you got in shape, you really were able to nail it. So I noticed at that time that, hey, marching on a football field is good exercise. And of course, when you're in high school especially, but then also in college, a lot of people, especially the sports nerds, they look down on band geeks saying, "Oh, it's not sports thing. They're not athletic." Well, I got news for you. I'm going to have a whole new video about how marching in a band or in a drum and bugle corps is definitely an athletic event. Later on in the year 1980, I was the brass instructor for the Florida Vanguard's Drum and Bugle Corps on their very first year in open competition. And if you like, I'll tell you more about that later. Leave me a comment if you would like to hear about that. But the year I was the brass instructor, I also did a lot of coaching during the marching rehearsals for that particular drum corps. And I noticed that it was even more athletic than marching with the college band. And then when we had our contests, and I would be right by the sideline, and my corps and then the other corps would come off the field during the competitions, they were totally exhausted from having put on this, I think it was about an 18-minute show on the field. And of course, they practiced during the contest season, sometimes 6 days a week. Sometimes they would go 10 hours a day rehearsing. This is not wimp stuff. This is definitely an athletic event. So I was realizing that this is definitely good exercise. Now, later on in life, I took up running, and for many years, I was running 3 miles a day. It wasn't something I liked, but it was something I figured, hey, this is the most exercise I can get in the least amount of time. I want to get the exercise done, get it over with, get myself in shape as much as I can. And so I did that sort of exercise, running, many years. But as the years piled on, I realized I don't want to keep running because I've heard from many sources that running is just not good for your knees. And as you get older, if you've been running all this time, your knees are going to give out. And pretty soon you're going to have surgery or other therapy or wear a brace on your knee or all this sort of thing. I just didn't want to do. So I basically tapered off the running. And the last time I did running was, oh goodness, probably 17 or 18 years ago. But I knew I had to exercise, so I started thinking back to when I was getting all this good exercise with the marching band and watching and helping with all the good exercise from the drum and bugle corps, and was thinking, that's good exercise too, but it doesn't stress knees. Now, the way you do marching for exercise, and after quite a bit of experimentation, I came up with all you have to do is like marking time. Now, if you've ever watched a marching band or a drum and bugle corps, you've seen they stand right there and they stand at attention and they're lifting their knees pretty high. And the latest development in how to march, you lift up your your knee to the point that your upper foot comes up about to your knee on your down foot. And if you do that, that is actually very good exercise. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to just stand in one place and mark time. I do not want to go marching out in the outside, and I don't want to go marching in the house because, it's kind of fast. But why do I have to march fast? Why can't I do a blend between marking time, which stays in one place, and marching, which moves forward fast? Why don't I just do mark time, but only take steps that are about 4 to 6 inches long? And that was the key to marching for exercise. Now, here are some of the benefits that are just amazing for this marching for exercise activity. First, you can do it anywhere. I recommend you do it inside. You do it in your house. I've done it in my house many, many years. I've done it in hotel rooms. I've done it when I'm a guest in somebody's house and I have a private room. I've done it in that room, just back and forth, sometimes around the bed, sometimes just back and forth in the room. It's easy to do. And you can, another benefit, vary the amount of exercise you get. There's 2 ways you can vary the amount of exercise. Number 1 is by how high you lift your knees. If you are very energetic and you want to burn off a lot of energy, then lift your foot all the way up to the other knee. And when you do that, that will increase the amount of energy you expend and give you more exercise. If you have low energy, then only lift your heel up to maybe just above the ankle of the other foot, and you're not using up as much energy at that time. The other way that you can increase or adjust, I should say, the amount of energy you expend is the speed at which you march. Now, a normal walking pace is usually anywhere between 70 and 90 steps per minute. A normal marching pace is 120 steps per minute. And this is the pace that the military uses whenever they have a parade and you have all these military units out on the parade ground and the band is playing. The band always plays at 120 beats per minute, which when the marching units are in step with that, that gives them 120 steps per minute. And that's a little bit faster than the normal walk, but you don't have to limit yourself to 120 steps per minute when you're doing marching for exercise. I usually do at least 136 steps per minute and when I'm in a low energy state. When I'm really low, sometimes I'll go down to 120, but when I'm high energy, I'll go to 144, 165, sometimes I'll even do 180 steps a minute. Now think about this for a second. If you're only doing 120 steps per minute, that's a fairly slow marching for exercise rate. If you march for 10 minutes, you're going to get 1,200 steps. Now, that's not bad. If you're marching 140 steps per minute, that's 1,400 steps in just 10 minutes. If you march for a half an hour at a pretty energetic state, it's not difficult to get between 2,000 and 3,000 steps in a half an hour. That's not bad. Now, another thing is that you do this inside. You've probably already noticed that inside is very friendly to people. If you go outside, sometimes it's friendly to people, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's freezing cold, sometimes it's sweltering hot, and you just don't want to do the exercise outdoors during these conditions. Come inside. Do your marching for exercise in your living room or in your bedroom or up and down your hallway or all of the above. Another thing you can do, and this is a great benefit in marching for exercise, you can multitask. I do marching for exercise whenever I'm on the phone talking to somebody, especially if it's a relative or a friend. I know we're going to be on the phone for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. I have been on the phone for half an hour and done marching for exercise the entire time, and I got many, many steps, and it is great. If you're not talking on the phone, then you can pick up your tablet computer, play a game on it, something. There's a lot of games you can play. I call them brainless mind pap, but basically it doesn't require you to stop and think about what you're doing. You just basically react to whatever's on the screen, like solitaire is one of those, but there's many games you can do that way. And if you do the kind of brainless mind map games on your tablet or even on your phone, you can also listen to an audiobook. And that's what I do. And you know what that is? That's triple tasking. I'm doing three things at one time. I'm listening to an audiobook, I am doing a game on my computer, and I'm getting some steps. That's triple tasking. I love being efficient and being able to use my time and get a lot of things done all at the same time. So that's another thing you could do. Now, what's the results of this marching for exercise? Does it really help? I am convinced that it does, and here's why. In the year 2016, my wife and I decided we were going to take a trip to go see Jackson Hole in Wyoming. Now, Jackson Hole is a big valley, and the main city in Jackson Hole is the city of Jackson. And we went up there. We were going to go in June or July, and I had a friend I'd never met. This is a friendly acquaintance that I had met on the internet. Hi, Don. And he said, no, don't come in June or July. The place is just totally jam-packed, crowded with tourists in. Come in September if you can, because the tourists have mostly all gone home, but all of the attractions are still open. So we planned our trip in September, and we made the trip to Jackson, Wyoming in September. Now, some of the things we did there, we wanted to visit Yellowstone Park, we wanted to see Grand Teton National Park, we wanted to see the area, and I wanted to meet my friend Don for the very first time and meet his community band people and just chat with them. And that was a good chat and a good trip. But one of the things we did there was we went up to a pass. We followed a road west out of Jackson, Wyoming, until we got to a pass over the Rocky Mountains. And the sign at the elevation of that pass said it was about 8,200 plus feet, like 8,243, something like that. And we got to the top of that pass, and there was a parking area. So we pulled off into the parking area, and we just got out to walk, and we noticed there's another path going up the mountain from this parking area. Now, you know, the pass is basically in a valley between the mountains, so the pass comes over the lowest part, and the mountains go up higher on either side of the pass. So we saw another path going up the side of this mountain, so we went on a hike up that path. And this hike, it was about an hour and a half we took. Before we went to Wyoming, everybody here, where I'm living right now in the southeast part of the USA, said, oh, well, they got really high altitude there. You're probably going to get out of breath. Don't worry if you get out of breath. Just sit down. Well, I got to tell you something. I had already been doing marching for exercise for at least 2 years at that point, to the best of my memory. And when we got there, we did not get out of breath even a little bit. We went up that path past the in the mountain path, the path out of the mountain pass, and west of Jackson, Wyoming, and we went an hour and a half hike up this path. And I want to show you this picture, and I hope I can find it. You look down from where we were way up on the top of this mountain, and you look down and you can look in between the trees, and you see this little speck, looks like a grain of pepper. That's our car. And if I can find that picture, I'm going to zoom in on it right here, and you will see it's a Nissan Armada, which is not a small vehicle, and that's how high we were, and we were not out of breath. There was another place where we went in the Grand Teton National Park, and we were at an altitude of probably 7,500 to 8,500 feet, and we went on another 3-hour hike in that area. We didn't get out of breath. So you tell me, does marching for exercise work? It did for me. Now, here's the downside of marching for exercise. If you do it in public, people are going to look at you funny. Just face it. If you go out there and you park your car in the far reaches of the parking lot, which you should be doing because that gives you a lot of steps between you and the store, if you just walk into the store, nobody looks at you twice. But if you do this marching for exercise to get from your car into the store, just because you want to get a lot more steps, people are going to say, what's the matter with that person? Or, are they out of their mind? And it's only because nobody's doing it and you're doing something different. Everybody's going to look at you if you do something different. So if a lot of people watching this pass it on to other people and everybody starts doing this marching for exercise just because you want to get more steps, then nobody will look at you funny if you do it in public. But right now, I don't do it in public. I just do it in the house. What do you think? You think marching for exercise is something you might like to try? Go ahead and try it. Leave me a comment down in the comment section below and let me know how it works for you. Come back in a year and tell me what the results are for you. If you have some kind of exercise that you like to do that is non-standard, such as this marching for exercise, get in the comment section and let me know what that exercise is and let everybody know. And if it's a good type of exercise, I may try it myself, and then we can put up another video about that one. Who knows? In any case, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody who has been watching it up to now. Keep watching. Give me that thumbs up so that you'll let me and the YouTube robots know that you thought this was a worthy video. It'll encourage me to make more videos. It'll encourage the YouTube robots to recommend this video to other people. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate every single subscriber on this channel. If you're not a subscriber, why not go ahead right now, click that subscribe button and then the bell icon, and YouTube will let you know with the bell icon whenever we post another great tutorial right here on David's Tutorials and what has now become the vlog channel. So farewell for now from vlog 23-13, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and have an absolutely wonderful day.